To go live. All right. Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Tripp Smokepit. I wish I had a good tagline. I need to work on that, but I don't have one. But tonight we're talking to illustrator Derric Wise.
Smoke him if you got him.
Yeah, and before this, we were talking about we had some stories lined up. So, Derric, let's go.
All right, cool. So we were talking about basically where I come from. So I'm a graphic designer now. I live here in Seattle. I work with a lot of startups. I freelance like crazy, and I'm from Eastern Washington, which is vastly different from Western Washington, which is Seattle and all the crazy stuff you hear about the news. I'm from with a farm community. I grew up on a farm, apples and peaches and all that fun stuff. And we used to have a fruit stand and winery out there, out in the middle of. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Do peaches grow that far north? I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Washington State has some of the best peaches in the country.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
I thought you needed like a subtropical environment for those things.
No, actually, this is interesting. Peaches they need to go dormant, so they need to have like a winter.
Huh.
Really good peaches need to have that dormant, like Georgia. They have a winter, and they go dormant.
Georgia has a winter, kind of like California has Republicans.
It's true. That's true. But they still go dormant. The leaves fall off, and it gets below freezing at least for a day. So that's all they really need.
Yeah.
But in Eastern Washington, we have like negative, 10, 15. So it's not like the Midwest, but it gets pretty damn cold.
Yeah. And
they go dormant, and they get, big old nice peaches. It gets 110 in the summer, and we have some amazing peaches and stuff. But so this is back in the 90s or 90s, 2000s, around there. And we went from full production to like selling straight to consumer because, legislation and stuff put us all out of business, and we had to figure out how to survive.
Yeah, no, they've been fucking people with that. Like I was reading, I think as of 2 or 3 years ago, there's no more small farms in Kansas or Iowa.
Yeah, no, I doubt there's hardly any small farms anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot around here, but they're all dairy, and by small, it's like regional, but it's not like Purdue owns them like they do wherever. But yeah, no, it's getting bad for anybody that wants to do shit on the ground. Right.
Well, I'm from an era where like small farm means you're doing production, and 100% of what you do is farming.
Yeah.
I like that. That's prerequisite, like farm to table and that kind of farming, and they have a restaurant and all that kind of fun stuff that everyone's like, oh yeah, it's a little small farm. That's not really farming in the old days. It's like if you've taken all your stuff to a warehouse and then they sell it and then they pay you, that's farming. But that went to shit. And then we went to the direct to table type stuff. So we had a fruit stand. So we were in kind of the Yakima area, which is right in the center of the middle of Washington State, and we were kind of in between Seattle and the middle of the state. So we were right next to a highway, and you get all these crazy characters coming through, just amazing stories, weird stuff. And one of these times, this guy came. No, it was his wife. This wife comes in, and there's like they pull up. This is like the first year we're just starting our fruit stand, and we're just like sitting there doing nothing. And this van pulls up, and it's a beater van, and it looks really sketchy, but kind of nice at the same time. Like those like sides, the porthole window.
Did it have a wizard and a unicorn painted on the side?
Everything but that. It looks brown and yellow and tan. It's like that's kind of very 70s looking.
Yeah.
But it's nice, but it was shitty. And the lady comes out, she starts buying stuff, and she keeps going to the car and then coming back and going to the car. I think it was me and my sister. I was the only one that worked there at the time.
Yeah.
And she comes out and she had questions, and then she opens up the sliding door, and this guy walks out. And they're like, he's around, like looking around, sketching notes down. And I'm like, wow, that guy looks really familiar. Who the hell is this guy? And they look like normal, hillbillies that we usually see, where we're at, kind of going between Seattle and Yakima. And this guy, he pays for his car. Oh, he gives the card to his wife to pay for like a box of peaches and some wine and some other stuff. And so I slide the card, and I'm looking at the receipt, and it says Stephen King. And I look at her like, the Stephen King? She goes, yes. I'm like, huh. She goes, don't keep that receipt. I'm like, okay, see you later. Like, she's really mean to me, and I immediately kept the receipt.
What the hell were they doing up in Washington, though? I guess they do travel and drive around a lot, though.
So it turns out that he was right. He likes to go to these little small towns and then write like the store. Like actually, our little fruit stand was in a couple books. Like
really,
it's really like out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like there's no houses around us. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so it's kind of has a creepy vibe to it.
Yeah.
Plus, we found out later after we were written into a couple books.
Which ones?
I can't remember the name. So a lot of local artists come there to write. I'll find that. I'll give you a list later on.
All right.
They would come stay there, talk to people, write their notes down, and write little fiction books. Like, why is this so popular? Why is this little spot on like Sunlight Water so popular? Well, it turns out there is a Christian camp that was out in the woods that's abandoned from I think they abandoned it in like the late 60s.
Oh, so it's been decrepit for a minute. It's
been decrepit, but it's like in a time capsule. And the reason they closed it is because some kid drowned in a pool. So it makes for some.
That's it. That's not even a safety hazard back then.
No, not at all. But it makes for some fantastic fan fiction or like fiction type horror movie type stuff. So you get a lot of authors up there writing and taking notes from all the weirdo people that live out in the backwoods out there.
Huh.
Yeah. So they go up. A lot of writers go up there and write notes. Like that's why there's so many. That same area. Oh gosh, what's the freaking movie or show?
Twilight.
Twilight is actually south of Seattle, so it's closer to Oregon.
Oh, okay.
And it's a little. That's a creepy town too. But oh crap, what's that crazy director that does like the really weird Art Nouveau stuff in the 90s?
M. Night Shyamalan.
No, better than that, but weirder.
Oh, better and weirder. Well, I guess better's not hard because M. Night Shyamalan had like 3 really good movies and a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know about weirder though.
Oh my gosh, what 90s? The Pie, the Coffee. Oh my gosh, I'm kicking myself because I'm forgetting this right now. That's a nice cup of coffee. Huh?
Tarantino?
No, not Tarantino. He has the weird hair. Oh shit! Hold on, let me Google this real quick.
Drawing a blank, man.
Sorry, yeah. Well, it's even worse for me.
What movies was he in?
It was a 90s TV show.
Oh, a TV show. Oh, that took place in Washington?
Yes.
Oh, Frasier.
Same era, but not. They just rebooted it in this HBO. It was really good. Oh my god, I'm killing myself here.
Was it Larry David?
No, it's a horror movie.
Horror movie.
It was Twin Peaks. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Twin Peaks, he was out there. He stayed out on Sunlight Waters. A lot of that movie was shot out in Sunlight Waters and in Cle Elum and in North Bend, Washington. So it's just, we have a lot of weird sci-fi stuff. Like some of the first UFO sightings were out here by the mountain. It's a weird place.
Well, I don't know about first UFO sightings because that stuff goes back a hot minute if you want to dive down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, like but like started the atomic era stuff outside of like anything outside of Area 51.
Well, I mean, like the West kind of has that like mystique to it, that mythos where it's like, hey, listen, this is within 1,000 nautical miles of bumfuck nowhere, Nevada. So obviously,
yeah,
shit's gonna, because I know there's a lot of like Bigfoot and shit up there too. So
Bigfoot, we lay claim, or a lot of conspiracy theories about the guy that like jumped out of the plane, that John Doe guy with the glasses.
Man, DB Cooper.
Yes.
Yeah, that was around there. Dude, my thing about Bigfoot though is like, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I don't not believe in Bigfoot either. And my reasoning for that is, at first it was, yeah, it's kind of wacky. If it was out there, we'd have found it by now. But then I found out that we discovered gorillas in like 1910.
That's not that long ago either.
Yeah, no. And like for thousands of years, like there'd be these stories from these Greek dudes that went down to like southern fucking, what was Egypt way back then, which is in the middle of Sudan now. They're like, yeah, there's this like hairy jungle man out there and he comes out and he steals babies and shit. And everybody's like, yeah, that's fucking stupid. And then 3,000 years later, they're like, this woman's going to go out in the jungle and live with gorillas for 6 years. And it's like, oh, okay. So if we didn't know that fucking existed, I'm open to something fucking being up there. It's maybe not in a lot of the places that people like to say they are here, like in Georgia or Maryland. No, but up in Canada where it's like, I think there's more people that are from New York City than there are Canadians. And Canada's like the second largest country on the fucking planet. There's got to be something, maybe not a Bigfoot. There's fucking something up there we don't know about.
Oh, dude. Well, and like over here in Seattle, people think it's like all city and there's like overpopulation. Yeah. You go 10 minutes that direction, which is east. There's thousands of miles of nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, it's the same way out here because like I'm in Pennsylvania and it's very underdeveloped. Like 10 minutes outside of fucking Pittsburgh, it's banjos, and then like 5 minutes after that, it's woods until halfway through the state.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, what was it? You know, it's 2020, so you know, if we do find a Bigfoot, this would be the year.
Maybe
like the alien stuff. This is. Like, there's a lot in the news, but are we just gonna like not talk about the aliens?
Yeah, the government just admitted aliens exist, and no one gave a shit.
No one gave a shit. They're looking at toilet paper, like.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't deal with extraterrestrial invaders. I have to pay attention to the orange man giving me coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, fuck your aliens.
Yeah.
Let's get this guy out of office, all right? Because that's the priority. It's like, dude, interdimensional. Alex Jones was right. And you're just brushing it off.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Alex Jones is right.
Yeah.
That needs to be a t-shirt. It doesn't already exist. Oh, that's great. It's a weird year, man.
Yeah. Now, my thing with Alex Jones, though, is like I like to say that he has what I call the Nostradamus effect, where if you just say enough shit, obviously some of it's going to fucking happen. And then if it doesn't, you just like, man, it didn't happen yet. Or, sorry, wrong about that one.
Yeah, that's what happens to folks that don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like myself. You're wrong more than often than not. But if you just say a bunch of shit, you know, then you might be right.
Throw the whole fucking pot of spaghetti at the wall. Something's going to stick.
Yeah. But aliens, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And like alien stories, like I lived close to within 100 miles of where they developed a nuclear bomb out there in Hanford.
Okay.
So we would, like, me and my wife, I always talk about weird stuff we saw in the sky, planes. I saw my first B-1 bomber before it was like declassified.
Yeah. That's the thing though, is like, I think a lot of that stuff is just classified shit because, you know, before like Desert Storm, or back in the 80s and back, the most UFOs are these big flat triangle things flying around that couldn't be airplanes, and then we bomb the fuck out of Saddam Hussein's like, look what we did it with, and it's like,
but like, and then like the B-1, that bomber looks just like a Nazi plane, like precise. There's a version of like a Nazis had this like
because we stole from them
precisely like those. Of course, that's why we just have a space program.
Yeah,
but we were driving. This is like 5 years ago. And we're driving to my parents' house. Probably had to be like 9-10 o'clock at night, and a little orange orb was following us. And it wasn't like it totally wasn't a drone, and it was big enough that it was going past mountains, and we could see the shape of it.
Yeah,
and it followed us for like 10 miles before we got to my parents' house, and freaked us out. And then like fast forward 2 or 3 more years later, aliens are real, or UFOs are real.
Yeah, did you have any missing time on that one? Like, you know,
we're driving, so
yeah, but you zone out when you drive. Like, you don't realize shit. Like, I get in the car, drive an hour, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm already here. Like,
yeah, well, possibly. I don't think I'd know it. But
have you checked your butt for metal?
Not daily, but you know, not that time. No, there was no metal in my butt.
You've been on an airplane since then, because the TSA would have found it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, UFOs are weird. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna back to me, which is more important.
Yeah.
Illustrator. I draw and make a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you work on the Funko Pops, right?
I did a long time ago. So I was actually a brand director for the digital brand. So I did back when they did a huge rebrand and became a little bit more popular online. I did their whole redesign of their website.
Nice. And
all the apps and the Funko app and all that fun kind of.
I didn't know Funko had an app. I mean, that makes sense that they would, but
yeah. Well, it's like a tracker for collectors.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can scan the UPC code in the back, add it to your collection, add stuff that you're looking for, need to complete. There's a lot of completists in that whole genre. So
yeah. Now, see, the thing about Funko Pop is I don't know anybody that collects those like off. Well, I mean, but like, you know, like people collected Beanie Babies or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
However, I give them to people for fucking Christmas, and people give them to me for Christmas. So I have a bunch of them, I've bought a bunch of them, but I don't have any that I've bought.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I wouldn't have this much that I have now if I didn't work there.
Yeah, and you got like the horror stuff, like
oh yeah, I got
like the Devil and Elvira and a Mummy and Skeletor.
Yeah, I got a lot of Skeletor. I'm a big fan of Skeletor. This is my Halloween mask I made a long time ago.
Nice.
I got a Skeletor poster there.
Also, for the people listening to this later, he's got a pretty badass setup there. You're gonna have to take our word for it, or go watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, guns and my garage. My door's open. I want to get that. But yeah, this is my garage. A lot of weird old stuff. Everything's old in my shop. Big
Sounds like a basement.
Yeah, it's a basement. If I had a basement, this would be it.
Yeah. Actually, do they do basements up there? Because I know a lot of people don't. Like, if you go down south, there's like fucking none, but the water table's like 6 inches under the dirt. So I mean,
right. On this side of the mountains, it's either the basement's above ground. So your garage and your basement's connected, and then your upstairs is upstairs. But this is it's a 1960s Ramblers. It's all flat.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. So, who would win in a fist fight between the Devil and Skeletor, and why?
Well, probably the Devil, because I'm pretty sure the Skeletor comes from the nether regions down there.
Oh, so Skeletor is a boss.
Well, he's a minion, I think. Because
he's the minion.
Yeah. Well, and the guy from She-Ra, I forget that guy's name. He kicks the shit out of Skeletor all the time. So he's not all powerful.
Yeah, see, that's something I never really liked about fucking bad guys. Because, like, the bad guy's always cooler, but the good guy always kicks his ass, like, no problem. It's like, dude, shouldn't the bad guy win every once in a while? Like, outside of an Orwell novel? Like, come on, man.
But in a lame way. Like, He-Man never really won in an awesome way. Like, didn't rip his head off or anything like that. Just like, hey, I tricked you. A cage fell on you, and I ran off.
Yeah, you never went like John Wick and, like, pulled his jawbone out and, like, crushed his skull with it?
Which I would have a lot more respect for He-Man if he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cooler. Man, I got this really cool thing. I got a ceramic He-Man.
Okay. Oh, is he riding the tiger?
He's riding the tiger. But it's like China.
Huh.
Really cool little thing. I got it from a guy from Etsy, and he seems awesome. And I'll share what's his.
Wait, so is that anything, or is that just a figure? Like, does it double as like a fucking like a milk saucer or something?
No, it's a ceramic He-Man. He made it.
That's fucking legit.
Oh man, it's so amazing and delicate, and like the little Cringer / Battle Cat, the little head comes off.
Oh, nice.
It's like super amazingly delicate. Let me find this guy's name because he's amazing. Well,
while you're looking that up, I want to point out that like glass makers are fucking insane. I have no idea how they do that shit. Like, I have a hard enough time working with wood or paint.
Yeah, like blowing glass. This is ceramic, so it's a little different process. Let's see. It's Recollect Toys.
Recollect Toys.
Collection Toys. RE Collection Toys.
Okay.
He's awesome. And he just came out with a Skeletor today and almost bought it. But yeah, really cool maker. I love makers and people making stuff and doing really cool, weird, crazy things. Made a Mandalorian helmet for Halloween.
Nice. Dude, did you watch the new episode?
Just now, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, I want to know where this is going to go, but since you've seen it, I'm going to assume that anybody watching this now has seen it. And if you haven't seen it, we're Mandalorian spoilers, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Dude, I was super excited, like, fuck, what is his name? The bad guy. He was on Breaking Bad. He plays a really good asshole. I forget what his name is in the show. But A, that he plays a really good bad guy. But B, when his TIE fighter crashed and he cut himself out with the Darksaber, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. And my wife's like, that's just a shitty lightsaber. I'm like, no, it's not just a shitty. Okay. Yeah.
It's like the lightsaber. Yeah. It's the lightsaber of lightsabers.
Yeah, that was like the first one, motherfucker.
As soon as I saw the girl with the red hair, what's her name? I forget her name too. But I was like, oh gosh, he's going to get the lightsaber and give it to her. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah, because somebody else gave it to her in, was it Rebels or the Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, I believe.
Clone Wars, yeah. She's like, I don't rate that. That's not mine. I failed, and it's like, no, I'm the goddamn Mandalore.
Yeah, it's pretty. That series is so awesome and very 2A friendly, and I love it.
No, I would argue that, and hear me out on this. Yeah. I would argue that The Mandalorian is just okay. However, we haven't had anything good from Star Wars since 1983. So in comparison to that other dog shit, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's exactly the argument I made. It's the best thing since the original movies.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. And like Rogue One had its moments. I thought that was the best out of anything newer.
Yep.
But then after that, it was like, can we not do this? Like, say we did.
What we're hitting on is anything without Metachlorians and the fucking Jedi.
Yeah, no, and here's my thing on that too. It's like, well, no, the prequel trilogy, this, that, or like the sequel trilogy, this, that. All right, first off, we're going to do that. You are also going to take the fucking holiday special and the fucking Ewok movies. Put that in the fucking canon, motherfucker. No? No? All right, cool. Well, if you're going to refuse to take that, then I'm going to refuse to acknowledge anything after Jedi.
But that's why I like The Mandalorian. They included it.
Yeah.
They included the Christmas special. I was like, fucking touche. That's great.
Yeah, no, because what his disruptor rifle is what Boba Fett had in that, right?
That and his first like bounty was the guy that he had like faked like he had to take a shit and he went in the back.
Yeah,
he hasn't evacuated his thorax since Life Day, which was a reference to this Christmas story. So I was like, that's pretty hilarious.
No, I thought it was great when he's like looking through like all the dudes frozen in carbonite, and you're like, "Where's this story gonna go?" And then like he just like shows up behind him like Freddy fucking Krueger, and
yep, that's pretty awesome. We need more of that. I like how hokey it's just like every single day it's the same storyline. He's going to complete it in the episode. There's none of this like carrying over to the next week. It's just it's like
and there's an underlying plot with it too, but it's not bearing down on your throat.
Right. It's just it's a dumb Western. It's fun to watch, which so was the original Star Wars. It's Western in space.
Yeah. And then what is it? At the end of the second or third episode of the new season, like you see Boba Fett for like a second and you're like, what's going on with that? What's going on with that? Was that just a nod saying he's alive or
no, he totally fucking died. Well, you saw him get eaten. Like, what did you expect?
Yeah, but now we know that he made it out. And then, like, I know that, like, Disney...
Wait. Pause. But, you think he made it out?
Yeah.
No, he died.
Dude, he was in episode 2, dude.
No, that was the guy. He said he asked him where he got his armor.
No. At the very end of it, fucking while he's riding off into the desert, there's that dude in a cloak staring at him, and that dude in the cloak turns around, and that's Boba Fett.
No shit, really? I'm about to watch that again.
Yeah, he's literally in it for 3 seconds.
I thought the guy that from the Western town was Boba Fett.
No, the guy from the Western town just bought his armor from some Jawas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but like actual Boba Fett, not guy dressed like Boba Fett, but actual Boba Fett is also still alive on Tatooine.
The second episode?
I think it's at the end of the second episode. Okay. It's the same episode with the fake Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
But that kind of gives me hope. Say what?
In the second season.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
But I know Disney like wiped all the canon, but in the original Legends, Boba Fett became the Mandalore at one point. So it'd be cool if they're building that up with it, even though he kind of looks like he was just out in the sticks as a fucking hermit or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they get the same art. Like you can take people's names and stuff. So maybe they just become the same thing. But because I'm curious in how they're going to explain and wrap in the baby Yoda guy. Like where does that go? Because we're like what the Return of the Jedi timeline wise.
Yeah, I think we're like 5 years after Return of the Jedi in it. Or
I'm wondering where the kid goes because he's not in the movies.
So what is it? Bo-Katan, the redheaded Mandalorian chick, when she said take him to this Jedi, I forget exactly what she said, but she referenced I think her name's Ahsoka, like she was Anakin Skywalker's apprentice.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's taking the kid to her.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Which it'd be interesting to see how they did that live action.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good series. It's fun to watch, and it kind of builds off, especially right now. There's not a lot out there to watch.
Right.
It's like the best thing. Makes me very happy on Friday.
It's like, dude, I've been bored since Tiger King, man. Come on.
Oh, dude, Tiger King, man, that kind of soured the palate, didn't it?
I don't think it would have got as big if it didn't come out the same week that like the whole country got on lockdown.
Jesus. Is this ever going to stop? I don't think it is.
As soon as Biden takes office, or or we could go down the fucking conspiracy theory that they're trying to completely reset the economy, and this is a master plan put together by the globalists and the World Bank.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to reload my magazines and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
Well, weird.
Yeah, but no.
I think that like with the Mandalorian thing, I kind of like how it's kind of taken over, like the 2A community's kind of taken that whole Mandalore thing, because the whole religious, like sticking to your guns with the religion thing, it's kind of a interesting analogy for folks that do that.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. I dig it. Sure. Be a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So you were saying I'm curious about what you were talking about earlier with schooling.
Oh, like in general, or which part about it?
The what you want to get into, like graphic design, like what kind of business, like where in the whole large spectrum in the visual design community do you want to jump into?
So I would like to do it from my basement for fucking $1 million a day, but
yeah.
the places that I'm inquiring at are there ended up being a lot of fucking corporate headquarters around fucking central Pennsylvania, even though there's like nobody that fucking lives here.
Yeah.
And like large gas station chains, fucking I think American Eagle's around here too.
Really?
There's a fucking Northrop Grumman fucking place here too, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing here, but they got a building. So I've just been fucking sending my resume to those people, or doing the fucking application shit for it or whatever.
So are you looking at like UX design or like visual graphic design kind of stuff?
Visual graphic, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah, awesome, dude.
Yeah. If I can get hired at the corporate headquarters of a regional gas station, it's like, all right, cool, dude, fucking pay me. Although fucking the one I filled it out yesterday. This like whole online fucking like whatever before you can even send them your fucking resume. They're like, hey, we're the last place you worked. How long did you work there? How much did you get paid? I'm like, okay, well, I got out of the Marine Corps, worked there for 12 years. When I got out, I was making about $37,000 a year. And they're like, well, how much would you like to get paid here? And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. Let's see. So I was getting paid $37,000, and I've been out for a while, and I'm kind of technically coming into a new industry. So I'm going to say 30 to 35 because I think that's fair. And then like as soon as I like hit the send button, I'm like, this information's on the fucking internet. So I go and look it up, and I'm like, oh, the job I just applied for is $90,000 a year. Okay. Yeah. Fuck out of myself on that, but
yeah. The moral of the story is look it up.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I've done the same thing.
Yeah. But fucking if they hire me for that, it's like, well, I fucking asked for it. Shit.
I went to a design interview at a college in Portland, and it was like my first interview outside of college, and I wore a full suit, which was the most embarrassing. I was like, I never wear suits. I don't know why I was wearing a suit, but I had advice that I should wear a suit, and I wore this thing, and there's like, oh, this is a dumb idea. And the very first question is, why are you wearing a suit? Like, I'm not getting this job. Can I just go? Take this fucking thing off?
Well, I was supposed to.
So don't do that. Just wear business casual. It was really embarrassing. But yeah, man. Like on the design thing. So I started back in. I've been designing since 2000 when I was still in high school.
Okay.
And I got my first job around 2010. Somewhere around there for a startup called it was called Moz at the time, and developed into an SEO company called SEO Moz. And I was a creative director there for 6 years. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth, just getting a small like visual design job, working my way up to creative director. And just, it's a big long process, and you got to get your foot in the door somehow.
Yeah, no, because I think this place would be like mostly designing the fucking like seasonal bullshit they put on coffee cups. But I mean, paycheck's paycheck.
And it's fun, dude. That stuff I like the best.
Yeah.
Way more than like managing folks and like just, oh, I made a coffee cup and here it is. It's fucking drinking out of it. It's pretty rad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my second option was just to go work for the fucking post office and say fuck it, but because I can still do this on the weekends.
Yeah. Well, there's so much stuff you can do too. Like there's so many online resources nowadays that you can find all kinds of stuff if you have if you're directed in the right direction.
Right. Yeah, no, fucking so like I have a lot of people that have been like really trying to help is the word I'm going to use. Because like, oh, dude, I know a person that's hiring. It's like, cool. Yeah, they're hiring in Colorado, man. No, I'm not fucking moving for that. I appreciate what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
And there's no reason to move. Now, especially nowadays with COVID, all that dumb stuff.
Dude, no, dude, I just bought a house. I ain't fucking moving.
Well, I think I would hope that it goes the more digital route. I hope that's where the industry goes.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to go in the office. Especially, I'm so comfortable using like Slack and doing all the digital Zoom stuff. I don't miss the office at all. But I'm one of those weirdos that'd rather, have my kids interrupting me than being in an office talking about bullshit.
No, I'm on the opposite side of that. Like fucking, I have to be out of the house to like get my mind in the hey, be productive mode. Because like if I'm here, I have stuff that I want to do that I can be productive on, but that's all me shit.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, you want me to do something that you're gonna make money off of? Okay, give me a desk.
Yeah. Well, I don't work in here. That's a big thing. If I'm working in here, I'll gravitate over to the shop and start working on Mandalorian helmets. Then when I will be like doing UX flows and shit. So it's a challenge. Like you have to have a room or a place to actually
separate it.
Take a shower and get up to work just like you normally do. And like, even like in the morning, I take a drive, go around the block, come back. not even a joke. Like this, it's just whatever it clicks your brain into work mode.
I guess it's a good way to trick your head into doing that. Yeah.
It's getting outside. Like, well, my commute is only about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad then.
From my house to Seattle. That's not even that bad at all. So it's not that much of a difference just going around the block and
so get up to Starbucks, get a coffee from somewhere else, pretend like you're on the way to whoever.
Exactly.
Nice. What do you work with though? Like just say that last thing you did on Instagram where it was like 30-ish posts to like make that one big like haunted house. Like are you working in Illustrator or are you doing that in like Clip Studio or
no? So the year before that, I usually working in Illustrator, right? So now I just bought. Well, I started using my iPad, and it's dead as a doornail. And I started using a program called Procreate on the iPad.
Okay.
Pencil. And I started working with the folks from Retro Supply Company, and they provide these amazing brushes and halftone brushes. And I started really playing around with their stuff and posting it. And then I bought some for this one. For that, every year I do a big Halloween like drawing challenge just to get yourself out of like doing user interfaces and stuff like that. Yeah. What I like to do is illustrate. It's like what my passion's my passion. So every year I take October and just do something like one drawing every single day.
Yeah.
And there's a few design challenges. And this year I had the idea of like doing this huge haunted house in my story, which not a lot of folks have done. And the reason is because it's really fucking hard.
Yeah, and like now, like you can't post, so you have like 3 things to post, or else it like messes up your fucking.
Yeah, well, you have to work like 5 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
So instead of doing one drawing, you're doing like 5. Or so the way I did it was, I had one like master file that was like the whole. I just copied my feed and made an artboard. And did like rough sketches in each panel, and then take those sketches and put them into another design file, and then drew those things in each square. Yeah. And then I sent those square. Once I had something I was happy with, I sent it to myself. And in Illustrator, I put the square in my like an Illustrator or Photoshop file, and like made sure they line up. They didn't line up. I went back to square one, erased stuff, and resent it to myself, and made sure it lined up, and then posted it. So it was a huge process, which
dude, I'd imagine.
I would not do that. I wouldn't recommend that, but it was fun.
Yeah, you don't recommend it, but a year from now, you're like, hey.
Well, now, like, I'm looking at my feeds, like, okay, well, I post in threes forever now. Like, if I don't post on Instagram in 3 increments, the whole fucking thing's gonna be all tore up. So, whoops.
No, but it was badass though. Fucking, yeah, it's pretty fucking early. It was like, what's next? What's next? Is it gonna be the Wolfman?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be Swamp Thing?
Well, and then the smartasses, particularly the Marine rapper, talking shit about my own orange squares. That was probably the funnest spot. Like the people, the Marine rappers are posting my orange squares rather than the artwork, which is like mega burn, but hilarious.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. That was really funny.
Well, everybody's a smartass on the internet, so.
Dude, that guy in particular, like once the joke became a thing, he was really on it. You served with that guy, right?
Yeah, we were in Afghanistan together.
Oh wow, man, that's one hell of a talented crew you guys were with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think if anybody else was there. I'm like, no, I mean, yeah.
Just you guys, right? Just you two?
Yeah. It took on the whole fucking Taliban by ourselves. Yeah.
Well, good job. We appreciated that. Thanks.
Yeah. Obviously, it didn't work. I don't know if you can tell. We're still fucking there, but
yeah. Well, you know,
I'm gonna blame Obama for that one. So
yeah, that makes sense. Well, you were too busy making music and like writing books and shit.
Yeah.
So
I actually didn't start writing until fucking years after that. So I mean, but
how many books? You 3 books?
I have 6 out.
Okay.
I have the 7th one written. I'm on the ass end of the 8th, and then I'm gonna release the 7th, 8th, and 9th all at the same time. You know, just like bang, bang, bang. You know, ride the fucking algorithm.
There you go.
Yeah.
How long does it take to write a book?
You know, it really depends because I wrote the first 2 on ship in the course of a month.
Damn.
And then the 3rd one took me 6 months to write. Excuse me. And then I wrote the 4th, 5th, and 6th ones at work because I was gainfully fucking unemployed.
Yeah.
And maybe over the course of like 2 or 3 months. And then I wrote the 7th one over the course of a year, and then decided I fucking hated it and threw it out, and then like had to write it again, and then still working on the fucking 8th. And it's one of those things where it'd be done quicker, but like, you know, I got school and like a house and a wife and like a dog, and it's like, all right, so I can work on this for an hour a day if I'm cool.
This is a really dumb question, but why are you going to school for design when you write so well?
Because I know how to write already. Why would I go to school to learn how to do something?
Yeah. Good answer.
that and a creative writing degree has gotten literally no one ever a book deal.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And
that's a good point.
And I want to get better at painting.
There you go. Awesome, man.
So
both my parents were they have masters in the fine arts. My mom has a master's in painting. My dad has a master's in sculpture, and the same idea. Like at home, my mom was teaching me how to, like, when I was bored, and if my dad wasn't around, if I say I'm bored, well, here's some oil paints, and we're gonna figure, you're gonna do. You can't have black. You got to mix all your colors together. And I was doing like college degree courses before I was in grade school.
Did you get
yeah, right. This is pre-internet because it's old. And so you go to art class, and they're doing finger paint stuff, and you're like, what the fuck? Why would I go to school for that? And my parents did not want me to go to school for art at all, and I stupidly did. Should have went and started getting jobs. So there is something for that.
Yeah, no, I have the same frustration in school because it's like, fucking, all right, so I'm 3 years older than my teacher, and I know more than you.
Holy shit.
But
being older in college sucked.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like I started going back to school when I was 30, and it's like, come on, man. Like,
I hate it in here.
It's like I know that these classes are geared for 18-year-olds, but like, can we pretend like this is higher education for 14 fucking seconds?
Oh my god, college. I hate college. No one should ever go to college if you can figure it out on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like the other thing is, like, I don't fucking pay attention. I barely do my fucking homework, and I still have fucking A's. And it's like,
yeah, But honestly, if I didn't have a break in between high school and when I went to college, I don't think I would have done it very well. I mean, I was a shitty student in high school, but valedictorian when I went back to college. So,
Nice.
but once you get the prereqs out,
Yeah.
It's fucking stuff that you already know. And it wasn't until about my mid through my junior year, it's like, this is fucking pointless. And how much am I paying for this shit? Like, this fucking sucks. I'm getting ripped off.
Oh yeah, no. If I wasn't using the GI Bill, there'd be no fucking way I was here right now.
Holy, I can't. I wish I had the GI Bill. Like, I was out of state. I went down to Colorado and started a graphic design program with a professor down there.
Yeah.
And so it was my senior year. I'm getting ready to graduate, and I'm like, well, fuck, I got straight A's. Well, this is gonna be awesome. I've never really got great grades before through school, and I found out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a valedictorian. That's awesome. And then I go and get my gown and stuff, and I just have like the standard fucking you graduated gear.
Yeah.
What the fuck's all this about? I'm a valedictorian. They're like, oh no, you're out of state. I had to go talk to the dean because I was out of state. I didn't do my prereqs at that school. They wouldn't let me walk with like honor stuff. Yeah, oh man, I fucking lit that professor up, or the dean up in the office, like yelling at him, like, what? That's fucking bullshit. Like I skipped out on a scholarship from Central Washington University to go start this graphic design program in not Boise. Oh my God, that's Idaho. In
Boulder,
Durango, Colorado. It's like, dude, I had a scholarship. Like, why the fuck? Give me my money back. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit, man.
I was pissed, but it was fun, like tearing a dean up. He was not happy.
Well, I mean, at that point, fuck him. Like, you're already fucking graduating, so.
Yeah, I've already done. And whether I walked or not, like, I think I was there for like 10, 15 minutes. And like, fuck this. Let's go to beer.
Yeah, give me my fucking magic piece of paper and go fuck yourself.
Oh my God. I hope out of this COVID thing, like, a couple things go away. Big offices, like big, huge Microsoft campuses go away, and colleges die. If that happened, I'd be happy.
Colleges are never going to fucking die. They make too much money.
Same thing with campuses.
Yeah. No, and like that's the other fucking thing that I fucking like. I think that college books should be fucking free, because if you look at it, you're paying about $100 an hour to fucking be there. And it's like, okay, first off, buddy, I used to work at a print shop. I know for a fact that book cost 50 cents from the fucking tree in the Amazon to the fucking bookstore.
Right. Well, that's another thing. All the protests about saving the Amazon in their college. Like, you don't get it that, all your books and all this stuff comes from that area.
Yeah, no, see, my thing is, like, I've been to the fucking jungle. Fucking, my immediate thought was, burn this fucking motherfucker down. The jungle fucking sucks. Save the rainforest, save your fucking ass. Get the fuck away from the jungle, all right? Fuck it. It doesn't deserve to be there. Natural selection is ruining this fucking shit. Get rid of it.
You saw Disneyland before Disneyland was there. It sucked before this.
Yeah.
Put a big Disneyland there. And
there was this comedian, Andrew Schultz, and he was talking about, so I went out to nature, which is just the polite way of saying what God did before we fixed it.
Oh, man. But, there's, I don't know. I don't like the city either. It's just shitty, but more literal.
Yeah. Well, I guess super literal for you, because people are literally just fucking shitting on the fucking floor out there. So.
Oh, my God. Yeah, coming to Seattle, if you're going to make the venture to Seattle, which I don't recommend anymore. 10 years ago, dude, come on over. There's some great food. Awesome city. I even like all the weird kooky stuff that was going on, the weird protest. It wasn't that bad. But now there's literally, you got to watch out for needles. Shit is like the last thing on your things to worry about is being hacked in the face with a hatchet and the needle sticking in your feet. No shit. Before this COVID stuff was happening, I was going to go get what was that? I was going to get a biscuits and gravy for breakfast with some coworkers, and we're walking around this corner, And no shit, there was a pigeon. There's all the flying rats on the ground, and one of them had a fucking syringe needle in its mouth, just walking around. It has syringe needle.
Biological warfare attack pigeon.
Oh, holy shit! And it didn't look like it looked like a mangy, fucked up, weird wing, and had a syringe needle in its mouth. It was the weirdest thing. I tried to, of course, get a picture, but it didn't work.
That's weird.
It's Seattle's a weird place, man. It's really strange and quite dangerous now. So don't come.
I shan't. So I was going to go up there one time. It was a few years ago, and I was still in the Marines. And what the plan was I was going to drive up from 29 Palms, meet my girlfriend in Vegas. We're going to hang out in Vegas for a few days, and then like road trip up to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And then we were in Vegas for 3 days. We're like, dude, we still got a week of vacation. Let's just, fuck everywhere else. Let's stay in fucking Vegas.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in Vegas for a week, and it was fucking great. I don't remember any of it, but the pictures make it seem like I had a good time.
There's tons of stuff up here to look at. Like, it is gorgeous up here. There's some amazing beauty, and if you're into outdoor stuff, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And there's like lots of really good food. So it's kind of a bummer that there's an exodus going on. But who knows? Maybe things will get fixed soon. But
what I'm waiting for though is like, how like everybody's fucking like leaving fucking California because California's fucking terrible and they're going and ruining fucking other states. I can't wait for a mass exodus from, say, I don't know, Texas to California, and then like it gets flipped so hard fucking red that like the fucking commies over there are just like, what the fuck happened, man? Everybody's got guns and they got horns on their fucking Jeeps, man. Like, man, why you kill the buffaloes, man? Oh.
It's the crazy. A lot of California, all the California that I visit, it's all pretty red. Like a lot of guns.
Southern California is a lot redder than NorCal is.
Oh man, you got to go. It's pretty much from Redding all the way up, which is basically Oregon anyway.
Yeah.
And then even you have to get all the way to the border, like San Francisco, to get pretty blue. It's, I don't know, who knows? But I got kids, so I'm not willing to wait for the vacuum to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, California used to be fucking like 7 different fucking states anyway. So.
Yeah, dude, I saw an article about Idaho. Like, there's a huge contingency of Oregon that wants to secede from Oregon and join Idaho.
Really?
Yeah, and so they have it all phased out. So Idaho, if this, pipe dream would ever happen, it would be from the coast below Portland all the way up into Idaho, and then phase 2 would be Northern California joining that. So it'd be this big weird zigzag in the middle, like Idaho, like triple in size.
So we're gonna be like, dude, listen, we can't get Portland to fuck off, so we're just gonna like create a new state that's everything besides Portland.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good
so everything east, like so everything from like north, like the north bend of like Oregon would be the edge of that, and then scoop down in all the way to the coast, and then the phase 2 would bring in Northern California into this weird little thing. I would move there immediately.
I'd like to see them do that. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Well, yeah, no. If they had like good gun laws and like no taxes, like I'm down. Yeah. If they made it like fucking West Coast Tennessee, I'd be like, all right, sure, fuck it, why not?
Well, and 2/3 of Washington would join that too, I'm sure, because everything from Spokane all the way up to the Cascades would they're not Seattle.
Yeah, no, I fucking like love the way that like that works in most states, and like it's not usually highlighted except for like on an election year or like maybe like right after an election where it's like this whole state is one color except for like this little dot up here, but because this little dot's this little dot, all this is the same color as this little dot.
Right. Well, there's like 4 or 5 people that are like living in the woods that make that red spot.
Yeah.
So the mileage is more, but that little epicenter has all the people that you want to stay away from.
Yeah. Or like here, like the reason like Pennsylvania went for Biden is because Philadelphia decided that they wanted to vote for Biden. It's like, there's the rest of the state, right?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right, cool.
That's going to bite you in the butt. There's going to be a lot more. How fast do you think another war is going to start?
It's not.
Really?
No, it's not.
The Biden administration. You don't think so?
Oh, you meant internationally. I thought you meant like a civil war, because the civil war is
no.
As much as people like to talk about it, like if the Boogaloo Boys were actually a fucking problem, like they would have been a fucking problem, and it wouldn't have been a fucking meme. But
it's just a meme.
Yeah, they're a fucking meme. Yeah, they're fucking LARPers and a fucking meme. Like it's like, dude, as much as I want them to do their stuff,
they
fucking ain't, because it's more important to talk about memeing the fucking government instead of pulling a massive Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want a war. Like, I don't want to have to start shooting folks. That's insane.
Yeah.
But
no, if you meant like a war with Biden, within the first year.
Yeah. Yep.
Ground war within the first year. We'll be bombing somebody different within 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. If it hasn't already, started happening.
Well, I don't know if it got fucking officiated or not, but I guess nothing's actually like official right now. But there was talks about fucking Dick Cheney being one of his fucking foreign advisor or on his foreign advisor committee, and it's like, really, Dick Cheney's gonna be on your.
Are you kidding me? Dick Cheney. That's
I heard that was in talks. So
holy shit! The fact that's even an idea.
Well, see what it is though is he's bridging the gap between Democrats and Republicans. To show that we're all on the same side. Which, by the way, they are all on the same side. They're two heads of the same fucking snake. Yeah. But I mean, it depends on who you want to fucking like. And like, here's my thing. Like, you can say what you want about Donald Trump. Like, I don't want to get too political on that. Yeah. Good, bad, or whatever. But fucking, I think he's the first president since Kennedy that didn't start a new no, Nixon.
You can't include Kennedy.
Nope. I think he's the first president since Eisenhower that didn't start a new fucking conflict.
Yeah. Another one-term president. Yeah, Kennedy, the whole Bay of Pigs thing, that was a thing.
Yeah, that kind of.
Yeah, no credit there though. That's weird. And he's not really like one or the other. Like Democrat, he's kind of like in the middle because he's a huge spender. So he's like an old school Democrat, but talks like a hardcore conservative, I guess. But
yeah, and if you look at his political history, he was a fucking Republican in the 80s and a little bit of the 90s, and then he was like some weird middle ground shit for the other half of the 90s. Then he was a Democrat for like 15 fucking years, and then he's like, I'm gonna switch over to Republicans and go be one of them. And it's like, all right, man, cool.
Well, if it mixes things up, that's fine with me, because I think the middle is a little bit more stirred up and willing to do things. That's probably a good thing, but I don't like the Republicrats and the Democrats.
Yeah,
they're bad. Don't like them.
No, and it's fucked up because if you look at it, if we just boil this down to like Trump and Biden, right? They are both exactly 100% correct about each other.
Yeah.
It's like, that guy's an asshole. Yeah, he is. You're an asshole. Yeah, he is. Like, they can both be assholes. Like, this isn't black and white. They're both shit.
But and I don't mind voting for an asshole. Just a pedophile is a different thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude, no, I fucking loved that though. It's like, well, see, all right, so I'm gonna do some math here, right? So let's see. Donald Trump has 34 sexual assault allegations, and then Biden has 8. So 34 from 8. Biden has -8 sexual assault allegations. He actually is the only reason that women do anything anymore. Yeah. And Trump still has I don't know, fucking 28. So I mean,
ooh, your camera went fuzzy.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, no, dude, it's like fucking the other guy has done worse shit than me, so it's okay that I did anything. It's like, dude, no, that's not how this works. And then the fucking whole argument about oh, hey, Donald Trump's keeping kids in cages in Mexico. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, listen, fucking, if you want to fault him for that, sure. But don't say Biden's a good guy, even though he started it.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can say, hey, dude, fuck Biden for starting it, or Biden Obama for starting it, and fuck Donald Trump for, not losing it.
Yeah, the argument is so obtuse, right?
Yeah.
and linear to the point where it's retarded.
Yeah. Dude, and the other thing is like fucking, hey, listen, if we're doing all this fuck the police shit right now, why the fuck are we like championing Kamala Harris being the fucking vice president? Because she is the police.
Right. The worst type of police too.
Yeah. Like not even like small town, like fucking like writes 5 tickets a year because he works in a town that has like half of a fucking stoplight, but like LAPD fucking Rodney King shit. Literally.
Yeah. It's so strange. People are insane.
Yeah.
It's like it's because we're not watching football. I guess football started, but sports aren't a thing really so much anymore, and so it's red versus blue and rah Reed, and who gives a crap about the details?
Fuckers.
So wake up, people, wake up,
dude. It's all fucking bread and circus, man. Because like, if you just pay attention to the rhetoric, they're 2 completely different fucking things, right? Democrats are way over here, Republicans are way over here. If you look at the shit they vote for in their legislation, or the legislation that they fucking put across, like, okay, so this went up bilaterally, that went up bilaterally, that went up bilaterally, and like that big thing, fucking like earlier this year, like last year, when like Nancy Pelosi like ripped up Donald Trump's fucking like speech, like in the thing, it's like, hey, like 8 hours before that, she signed his defense bill, so I mean.
Right.
She's not ripping up the fucking order that says, hey, we're going to go fucking be complicit in genocide in fucking Yemen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to do this so I get more likes on Twitter. And
it's totally for Twitter.
Yeah. Everything's for Twitter.
Yeah. Thanks, Twitter, you bastards. But, whatever. We'll figure it out. I'll survive. I'm moving to the country, so. And I got a scope, so fuck off.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So Afghanistan, I don't know much about your service.
Oh, that was in the Marine Corps for 12 years. Fucking, I was the last Marine that went through the illustrator course before they closed it, and so I get to say I was the last Marine illustrator. But once I got to the fleet, they're like, hey, listen, we're not really doing this anymore, so here's a fucking camera. So I spent most of my career functionally as a photographer. Went to Afghanistan a few times, did a couple deployments on ship. I also have to be really careful about this because I was really fucked up about a month ago, and the person I had on my show fucking asked me about that, and I talked about me being in the Marine Corps for like an hour and a half, and then it was like, all right, cool. So that show's about me, and I feel like an asshole now.
Well, I'm just curious about like, what does a Marine illustrator do?
Programs, pamphlet.
You're doing programming?
No. Like, when you go to church and you get a fucking
book. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Lots of that. Posters, fucking. Actually, a lot of posters too. Posters and pamphlets mostly.
Oh, interesting.
There's also a bookmaking thing that goes into it, but it's mostly like doctrine manuals that like aren't big enough to be like made by like a larger print house. They just have them made at the fucking print houses on base.
Oh, interesting.
Lot of dumb bullshit fucking office work. Which the thing with the camera is like, hey, listen, so I need to go take pictures of this, which means you have to take me with you to do this.
Yeah.
So you get. Yeah, so you like get embedded with fucking whoever to go do this, that, and whatever, and it ends up being cool. Like, I think it was the best job in the fucking Marine Corps because you get to go do all the cool shit.
Yeah.
But when you're done doing the cool shit, fucking the guys that do the cool shit have to go do a bunch of bullshit after that.
Yeah.
I do the cool shit with them, and then like I go into a tent and fucking get on a laptop for fucking however the fuck long, and then jerk off and go to sleep.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's really interesting though, because I think most civilians like myself think of Marines, you're like loading mags and doing paperwork and shooting at shit. And
no, there's that too. Okay. Yeah. So I had a non-combat MOS, but I off virtue of either luck or how I position myself or how I tried to not position myself and then got positioned anyway. I've seen more combat than most people that are supposed to be fucking combat dudes, but that was also like when I was in, because like I went to Afghanistan in like fucking 2008, 9, and 10, and that's like that was like, you know, it was like hot. And then like, you know, dudes now will fucking join in like 2000 and fucking, like, I know people that have joined in 2012 that are still in that haven't ever been overseas. So it's just when and where you're at.
That's really interesting. Well, I think the reason you keep talking about yourself, that's more interesting. Like, I was working on a farm, then I was at a fruit stand, and it's like,
Stephen King wrote a fucking book about you, dude. Stephen King knew who the fuck I am.
Well, I think with we're more like backstory of a small town hillbillies type of situation. So it's nothing interesting.
Also, fucking Tommy Allen in the comments, which I have to give a shout out to Tommy Allen because he's always fucking here because he's a fucking trooper. But he was like, you know, combat camera, aka Kodak, but like my nickname was Kodak in Afghanistan. So
no shit, that's pretty good. One of the better logos ever made. It's Kodak logo.
Dude, they made really good fucking film too. Didn't they stop recently, like the last year or two? They shut it down.
They shut the film side down. They're doing pharmaceuticals now.
Yeah, but no one cares about fucking Kodak's fucking aspirin, dude.
Right, but they were in the running to do the vaccine. So they lost out on the vaccine. I bought stock in Kodak because I heard they were doing. Well, no, it went up. It went up. So they were in the running to do the COVID vaccine, but theirs was like 70% versus the 90% for the other pharmaceutical company did.
I have a funny story about the Pfizer guys, though. So, the people that came up with the vaccine for Pfizer, they're a married couple, and they are in Germany. However, they immigrated to Germany from Turkey when they were like fucking 3, so their parents brought them over, and they went to high school with my German teacher.
No way.
So, last week or the week before, she was like, so we're gonna like get into the lesson here a little bit, but before let me tell you about these guys. I'm like super proud of them, whatever. And it's like, and it's so great because everyone in Germany, for whatever reason, all of a sudden started hating immigrants in the 80s, and they're gonna be like, look, we're coming in from out of the country, and we're showing everybody that like people from other places can do great too. And I'm just like, started hating immigrants in the 80s. Put your hand down. I don't think fucking hand down. So, speaking of people from no.
You're just Democrat. You're not. You're stop it, Trey. My dog's trying to fight me. Yeah, Germany. Holy shit! How does our votes get counted in Germany?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was up with that. And then like there was that like weird shit about how like the army raided a fucking voting center fucking mainframe fucking warehouse or some shit, and there was like a blip on the radar, and there's like it was up just long enough to be like, wait, did that happen, or is this some like weird 4chan shit?
No, there's news about it today. The main lawyer lady for Trump said, we don't know who got it, the good guys and the bad guys. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean by that? And what they meant by that is the people that went and confiscated the servers, the voting servers, they didn't know if a foreign country got it or our team got it, and it ends up our team got it. It's like, what? How did you not know that? A, B.
No. A, why not Germany and not like, I don't know, Washington fucking DC or NORAD?
Or Midwest. Or anywhere in the country.
Yeah, put that shit in fucking Iowa. Like
right?
Cornfield, like bunker cornfield.
Yeah. With no one around it. With like 3 people counting it in a machine, like one of those dollar bill counters that drug dealers have. Just do that.
No, that and like the fucking like I know votes are different in different states, but like ours, like you had a fucking piece of paper you had to fucking fill out, and you put it into a scanner, and it's like count it there.
Yeah. Well, it's Washington State. It's all mail in here.
Yeah. So it was all mail in. Like you couldn't go in at all. You
can, but you just walk in and you put yours into a big basket.
Oh, that's stupid.
And it felt like very unsatisfying. It's like, there's no machine, or you don't feed it through anything, and you can't track whether your vote counted. Like, I wish we had they should work on some sort of voter ID thing where you can see how your vote counted and how in the rolls and your name's attached to your vote, and you can see it and make sure your vote counted, and that would be cool, right?
You'd think, because it's 2020, but like I'm going to tell you a little secret about the government, because I know this because I used to work for the government.
So did I.
They don't know shit
at all.
And they're the most inefficient fucks on the fucking planet because you can't fire any of them.
No. I worked for the USDA for 2 years.
I'm sorry.
No, it was actually kind of a cool job. I mean, it sucked, but it was cool. So I worked as an entomologist's aide, so a scientist's aide for an entomologist. And I went around.
Bugs or skin?
Bugs.
Okay.
What's skin?
What's entomologist then?
Bugs. Researcher. Entomologist is.
No, because there's entomologist and etymologist.
Yeah, so et is me. I'm the bugs.
And what's entomologist?
Probably skin, I guess, if that's a thing. I'm going to guess, just deducing from what you just said. Okay. I don't know.
I don't think it's skin. I think I misspoke. But yeah, okay. All right. So the bug one.
So I worked as a scientist aide, and they would hire local kids from the regional area, from Eastern Washington, because they knew the farms. And when the scientists went out there, they quite often our job is go out in the fields, collect traps, and convince farmers to put our traps on in their fields.
Yeah, and
the scientists couldn't do that because they'd be looking down the barrel of a shotgun 90% of the time, especially when out to the reservations. Mm-hmm. But I'm from that area. I'm from like the Wapato area, so it's right next to a lot of Indian reservations. I was a local. I knew everybody. So I went onto a farm. I probably knew the guy. So they'd hire me to go out there do all the collection. Traeger, stop it. Come here. Dog. And then so I'd go out there and talk to folks and harvest stuff. It's like, why do you have to hire folks to do this? It's like, well, farmers don't like us. Oh, okay. So every time I'd drive out to the truck, someone would roll out in a 3-wheeler. Say, what the fuck are you doing? I'm from the scientist state. Like I'm Randy's son, blah, 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 with my dad. It's like, oh, okay. Go out there and collect my, Pandemus leaf roller and Bertha armyworm and go out in the field and harvest all these bugs and take them back to the field, into the lab. And then my job was to sex them, see if they're male or female.
Okay. And
so if you ever know this, you know about the story about the apple with the worm in it.
I have a joke about the apple with a worm in it.
Well, the worm is actually a larva.
Okay.
And it's a moth larva. So the moth stings the apple, injects its seed into the apple, and it gestates and becomes this long maggot inside the apple, and it eats its way through. So that's what the worm is. It's actually a maggot.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So that's mystery is solved. But we had little traps. Either they're like sticky traps, or they're like water traps, and I'd collect all the moths, then put them in a freezer, and the next day I would sex them. So what you do to sex a moth is you hold it with one forceps, stick another pair of forceps in its butt, and you feel around till you feel something hard. And if you feel something hard in the butt, you pull it out, and this eagle talon comes out, and that's a male.
Huh.
So like moths have this like your standard moth that flies around a lamp.
Yeah. Has a stinger.
Their wiener is a 3-pronged big claw, and I'm not talking like you could see it with the naked eye. It's a big gnarly claw that grabs the female as they're flying and inserts its seed into the female. Right?
Dude, nature is so fucking metal.
Oh, it's crazy. And like it can kill the female.
Yeah.
But it looks just like an eagle's talon. Like just straight up like an eagle's talon. It's a weird wiener.
Okay, so back to what we were talking about before. I got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
What's red and smells like blue paint?
What's red and smells like blue paint? Green paint?
Red paint.
Red paint. That makes sense.
What do you call a black guy flying an airplane?
I have no idea.
A pilot, you fucking racist. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
Half a worm.
The Holocaust.
Ouch. So I live on Mercer Island, and it's like the highest concentration of Jews, including myself, outside of New York.
Yeah.
Which is this like little tiny island outside of Seattle, Washington.
Wait, so like actual, like not peninsula or anything?
No. It's in between the mainland of Washington State, and so Seattle. There's lots of rivers and lakes inside the west coast of Seattle. So Seattle is actually kind of on a peninsula, and in between there's a little island, and then there's a mainland.
Oh, okay. I'm always weary about that though, because when I was living in Florida, like I was a little kid, I grew up in a place called Ortega Island, and the only way to ever get to this fucking island was by one of the bridges. One went, east, one went west, one went to, across the river downtown. So I always thought it was a island in the fucking river. Google Earth fucking comes out. Turns out it's a fucking peninsula, and it just goes way the fuck down south, and like there isn't a fucking road that goes that way. I'm like, this motherfucker's lied to me my entire goddamn life. So now every time he's like, oh, it's an island in this place, I'm like, is it though?
Yeah. That's probably true. Like, just a really big mountain in between on a peninsula with water on it.
Also, fucking though, was it the St. Lawrence Channel? Up in Canada, that goes down in the Mississippi River, and that comes out in the Gulf of Mexico. So technically, the eastern United States is an island.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the Columbia, because that's like Lewis and Clark. That's how they got all the way out here.
Yeah,
through the lake. They went from the Columbia and came back up this way, and they didn't think they went to the ocean yet, and they were very disappointed.
Dude, I would be too, man. Like, you had to walk that bitch, man.
Well, they were trying to figure out like shipping lanes, so they get all their stuff from this side of the country to the other side, so they can save some time, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, no, we had to wait for fucking good old Teddy Roosevelt to build the fucking Panama Canal for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like what one of them, I don't remember who it was. He was either Lewis or Clark, but like they're like on the way back, he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done, and then put his fucking musket in his mouth. He's like, nah, I'm not walking back. Fuck it. Yeah. It took fucking a year to get here.
There's some great books. That guy, they saw some fucking crazy shit.
They had a Bigfoot story, didn't they?
Say what?
They had a Bigfoot story, didn't they?
Teddy Roosevelt for sure did, but they had a lot of grizzly stories.
Mm.
Terrible grizzly stories.
Okay, so I want to hear those, but before that, I didn't know fucking Teddy Roosevelt had a Bigfoot story. Fucking elaborate.
Dude, that's the guy that made Bigfoot famous, is Teddy Roosevelt.
Really? So I didn't know that.
Dude, absolutely. So he went out here, so he was out here hunting with a Northwest tribe, and that's where some of the stories from Bigfoot was really, really popular.
Yeah.
And Teddy Roosevelt had a story published in a newspaper about hearing the sounds of Bigfoot, and then talking to the native tribes, like, what the fuck was that crazy sound at night that woke me up? It's like, oh, it's this big hairy fucking guy that runs around out here and, might tear you apart. And he actually went on a campaign to go hunt him. So he was one of the first Bigfoot hunters.
He blows the hole in. I call this Ted Nugent.
Yeah. So the Bigfoot lore really, really got famous in American history with Teddy Roosevelt.
Never knew that.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I mean, it was written in the Chicago Times. There's a sort of interview he got from. He went on a campaign in the Northwest and did a bunch because he's doing all the park stuff.
Yeah. So
he was out here hunting like crazy, and he was talking to it. Apparently, he heard it and potentially saw it, and who knows? Huh. There's so many stories.
One of my favorite things about Teddy Roosevelt, though, is that he did so much shit that, like, the political compass maps where it's like, libertarian left, libertarian right, fucking authoritarian left, right, or whatever. It's like you take a Teddy Roosevelt from like a different decade and you put him over here, put him way over on the right, put him way down here on the left, put him way down here on the right.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
Ultimate American.
Totally, right? And willing to flex around in those areas and see the value of both. I think that's good. All or nothing is just that leads to totalitarianism and fascism.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's dark.
Well, I mean, if we want to be fair about it, like, fascism looks good on paper. So I mean, like, then again, so does communism.
It's clean.
Yeah. It looks good on paper.
Well, you always see the political spectrum on a flat line.
Yeah.
I think you should take that spectrum and turn it into a circle, and the extremes meet.
Yeah.
My opinion. I think particularly as you see like the fascista guys that down here, it's like anti-fascist, and they're like, but if you disagree with you, we'll hit you in the face with a billy club.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like fascism, but hey,
it's right there on the top, that bad spot that you don't want to get to.
Well, I actually think that it sounds like totalitarianism, because if you actually look at fascism, there is a fucking political and socioeconomic fucking thing that goes into it, to where nothing that anybody actually calls fascism is fascism. It's like a boogeyman fucking word now,
It is. Well, I mean, And throughout history too, those fascism and the socialists and the communists tend to kind of get along, or at least ally together.
Yeah. And like fucking, if you look at what the doctrine is, like fascism is just fucking socialism with a national identity.
Yep. Yeah. There's not much difference. Just the border makes it different.
Yeah.
Which borders are also good, especially if you're trying to, combat a, sickness maybe coming from another border.
Yeah, no, but the border is like, your lawn. So stay in your fucking house, you fucking filthy plebe.
Everyone.
Yeah.
You filthy everyone. Stay off.
Unless your city council are up, in which case fucking, go have that fucking dinner with your family.
You're right. It's weird how we've circled all the way back. It's like, okay, freedom, blah, blah, blah. We did all that. We're back to kings and queens.
Yeah, no, like we're being conditioned to think that freedom is selfish.
Right? Yes. That's really scary.
Yeah.
And freedom's a lot of things. It's not political. It shouldn't be political.
No.
That's the weird thing.
Yeah, no, and it's fucking weird that it is, because like if you look at it like pound for pound, like fucking like Sweden is more free than us, and they still have a fucking king.
Yeah, they have a freaking king and lower taxes.
Yeah, weird how that works.
But that's weird. But
yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, Sweden, this great socialist utopia." And it's like, talk to anybody from Sweden, like, no. That
was hilarious. Where the what was it, the president or some sort of government officials like, hey, could you stop calling us socialists, Bernie? That'd be great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, like every fucking time I watch the news, like they're like, listen, we need to do this, we need to save democracy. And it's like, dude, watching you makes me think democracy was a mistake.
Yeah.
Either you need to change your rhetoric, or we need to like actually just jump into like what you think fascism is, because at this point we'd be better off with it than this bullshit you're fucking pushing, dude.
Right. Well, I think that's something that you're saying too, is you're saying large, like if you think of the railroad system, like the robber baron system way back, you had a few companies that were doing a bunch of robber baron stuff that were doing the railroad into the West, right?
Yeah.
That got broken up with the invention of the car. And that led to a whole bunch of stuff. And then government got involved and started building roads. And I think
no. They built the roads and haven't fucking touched them since fucking 1912.
Right. But what that did was it got really violent there when the robber barons were trying to save those railroad systems.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot of eminent domain and working with the government and getting really in bed with like just getting really corrupt and manipulating the government to try to save their system. I think that's what we're seeing with media today.
Sir, I have to stop you. Are you suggesting that companies would get in bed with the government and corrupt? I cannot stand for that. Well, of course, yourself, sir. You need to get educated, because they only have our, not theirs, our best intentions in mind.
True. So let's give them all of our money immediately, and make sure they have all of our rights, and make sure
burn the Constitution. I think it's like 200 years old. Nobody knows what the fuck that is.
I got in an argument with somebody, and they had that exact argument. It's like, well, it's an old document anyway. I'm like, oh, okay.
Cool. Are you saying that on the internet? Because if you're saying that,
it was a political thing I'm not going to get into.
Oh, okay.
It was something that actually came up to me and said the Constitution's really old anyway. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a great argument. Like, so is the Golden Rule. So I'm going to murder you now.
Now, granted, there are things I think the Constitution could be updated on. Like, for one, if you look at it, slavery is not actually illegal. You need the government to practice it, which I think maybe we should maybe alter that a little bit. Yeah. But also, like, you know how like most fucking amendments, right? You got your passionate people about, like, you have people that are like, dude, listen, we got to be totally free speech, or like, listen, everybody should have fucking assault helicopters, or like, hey, look, fucking women's fucking suffrage is a thing. It's like, dude, where are the guys that are like, hey, listen, we are not and should not be quartering soldiers in our fucking houses? Like, where's the Third Amendment, fucking guys? Yeah,
right. I don't know. The assault helicopter sounds pretty cool. So I'm just going to say. Maybe that should be expanded and written into the Second Amendment. Thou shall have assault helicopters.
Yeah. No, I think the Second Amendment should just be like, you're not allowed to have nukes.
Yeah. I want to live in the world of the Mandalorian where everyone has all these crazy pulse rifles that can disintegrate everybody and everyone's really polite. The only place it gets dangerous is in bars.
Yeah, no, so there's a fucking thing about that. I forget exactly what the quote is, but it pretty much boiled down to like fucking a polite society. It's not the polite society is an armed society, but
an armed society is a polite society.
No, it was that, but there was something that fucking elaborated on it, but it was pretty much like going back to like barbarians and shit, where it's like, hey, listen, if you have a actual threat of your face getting cut in half with a fucking axe, you might fucking watch your mouth a little bit more.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's getting there, unless the government intervenes, obviously.
Yeah, and who knows how the fuck that happened. But no, my favorite fucking thing is like, it looks like the far left like wants this fucking like civil strife. And it's like, dude, look, you want the rhetoric. You don't want the actual physical part of it because your fucking hand holding and fucking dildos isn't going to do much against some dude that built a fucking machine gun in his fucking garage.
Right. Or it can like punch a hole through a cement wall. You don't want really in that case, the cops are protecting you in that equation. So
yeah. And the cops are the bad guys that you wanted to get rid of. So
right. Well, that's the thing too. Like that's what the right gets wrong. Like I'm a very pro cop. However, if shit gets real and things get worse and worse, guess who's not going to be on your side?
Yeah.
You know, they got a job to do and they're going to do it. So limit powers where you can. That's all I'm saying. It's nice to see the left kind of getting closer to the limiting the powers thing. I think they're going around to it the wrong way.
No, that's all rhetoric. They're not going to fucking do that. And do you know what? I will write that down on a piece of paper and fucking eat it.
Yeah.
If they took all this shit from fucking the Trump administration when you can't do, you can do that. Well, you shouldn't be able to do that. They took all that. You shouldn't be able to do that shit. And then Biden gets rid of those powers for the fucking presidency.
Right. Yeah. Right.
If that happens, I will write that down on a fucking legal pad.
Yeah.
Fucking eat it.
100%.
I think it's a safe bet.
Say what?
I think it's a safe bet because that shit
ain't
fucking happen. Because they talk about it 24/7. He shouldn't be able to do this, and as soon as we're going to stop it. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Never mind.
Because they're not going to stop it because they want their guy to have that same amount of fucking power. When in reality, what it should be is no office should have the powers that you would want someone to have who has the exact opposite moral compass of you.
Exactly. And that again should not be a political thing.
Shouldn't be, but it fucking is because fucking Americans are stupid. And you know what? No matter what happens, we fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
No. Like fucking dinosaurs could come back on a comet, destroy, like hit Yellowstone, blow up, destroy half the life on the fucking planet, and the rest of us are eaten by velociraptors. And I'd be like, okay, so I know this wasn't supposed to be a political thing. We deserve this. Okay.
And plus, it'd make for great TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the 3 fucking survivors in Greenland who fucking make a Netflix series, and by Netflix, it's just like their own like internal fucking Ethernet.
Yeah, it'd just be like instead of like World Star clips, it'd be like dinosaur eating people clips.
Mm. Yeah, you got like 3 dudes in Greenland, and then like Texas, for whatever reason, decided they would be friends with Oklahoma and would start doing fucking raptor rodeos.
Yeah, you can have 50 cal there, so it's fine.
Yeah,
they're fine there.
Florida, on the other hand, would not be affected because of the massive overpopulation of alligators, canids, and crocodiles that they have. Which, fun fact, Florida is the only place on the planet that has all 3 of those.
Yeah. Have you seen the dinosaur alligator that they caught on tape?
It's like fucking 20 feet long or some shit. It's like a ton and a half.
It's like bigger than a bus. It's humongous. It's to the point they think it's like a different species.
Yeah. You want to play the theme for Jurassic Park, but in all reality, it's just like the wire fucking twitching when the fucking T-Rex was like...
Yeah. That thing is huge. Someone needs to either make sure it's fake or Mount it immediately. Kill that thing and mount it and put it in an airport immediately.
So
probably doesn't taste
I half agree with you. However, I think that animal deserves to be taken out with a knife. And if you can't kill it with a knife, then you don't deserve to kill it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a fucking deer where I'm going to go shoot this deer so I can eat it. No. Listen, this is an honor thing. You get a K-bar, fucking 2 days worth of fucking food.
Yep.
In a canteen. Have fun in the swamp, motherfucker.
That's my Alzheimer's plan. Once I start forgetting my kids' names, I'm going to get a K-bar and go out in the woods and find a grizzly bear. Either I come back with a great story that I may or may not remember, or I die. And I get eaten by a bear.
Watch you go out to do that, and you come back and you have Bigfoot with you, and you're like, "Oh my god, Granddad, you got Bigfoot! Big what? No, this is fucking Big Bear, grizzly bear."
God damn, it is a fucking Sasquatch.
And then, like, you lose your mind, and, like, fucking, you live for 30 more years, but, like, your marbles are gone. You're in an old folks' home. You don't fucking remember shit of it, but you're in fucking history books, man.
Right. What's that movie that came out? Was the guy that killed Hitler and Sasquatch? What was that?
Yeah. It was like the man who killed Hitler than Bigfoot. It had Sam Elliott in it, and I hated it. Yeah,
it was not good, but it
was bad.
It was fun, I guess.
It was a neat idea, just poor execution.
Well, arguably, it was a terrible idea, but too hilarious not to make.
No, it would have been a better idea if he killed Hitler and then, like, he didn't, like, kill Hitler, like, in the first 5 minutes. Like, he killed Hitler halfway through the movie, and then Bigfoot was a Nazi.
Yes. No, there was a conspiracy for Bigfoots to take over America. Yeah, that's like a Bigfoot army.
No. The man who killed Hitler, and then dare Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Grossifus.
That's hilarious. Well, I was thinking this with the Mandalorian. We can't go back to that because I just watched it.
Yeah.
But the heat vision that he has with his little helmet.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, well, this kind of puts him into the aliens world. So maybe he's like aliens versus, maybe that's like Predator night vision. And like, if aliens crossed over to Star Wars, then we have something cooking there.
Well, Carl Weathers was killed by the Predator. Maybe.
Say that one more time.
Carl Weathers, the guy that plays his.
Oh shit! Yeah,
he was the dude from Predator.
Yeah, that's right. Gets his arm chopped off.
So, have you heard the theory that all Arnold Schwarzenegger movies take place in the same universe?
I have not, but I heard about the John Wick and Matrix version of that.
I want to hear the John Wick and the Matrix one, and then I'll tell you this.
So the John Wick is so all the John Wick series is a prequel to the Matrix. So that's so these are like different lifespans within, like, he's hooked up to the system that he's living and like training, and then he goes back and he gets killed, and then he starts over, and he just does this whole John Wick thing. But he's into, like, I think it's the training before he gets into the breaking the Matrix type stuff.
Okay.
So all that stuff's training. And I guess there's like, someone told me this, and I saw some of the fan fiction, and it seemed cool, and started watching John Wick for the first time. But it does make sense. It seems very Matrix-esque. Yep. And there's like little nods to the Matrix series, like very subtle ones with like the waiters at all the bars seem like very programmed, and they're like, they know who he is.
Like non-playable character type fucking types.
Yeah, so totally nonverbal, and they like remind you of characters inside of the Matrix series. It's really interesting.
Well, what the Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 come out on the same day, so.
Oh wow, crazy.
No, but check this out, right? So Predator happens, right? Fucking, it doesn't ever say who they are, but like it's safe to assume that they're like the thing that like Delta Force guys move up into.
Yeah.
And they go into what is it? Verda fucking whatever fucking country in Southern and Central America, and they all get fucking schwacked except for like one dude.
Yeah.
And then this dude comes back, he fucking debriefs or gets debriefed, and they obviously take him seriously, because if they didn't take him seriously, Predator 2 wouldn't have happened the way it did, with Gary Busey and the rest of the government, like, hey, listen, they're out there, we gotta fight these aliens. So what they do is they're like, hey, listen, there's an actual serious threat of an imminent alien invasion by these fucking things. So we have to build something that can fight them. So Dutch, Schwarzenegger's character from fucking Predator, they build a robotic killing machine built to fight these aliens that eventually becomes Skynet in the fucking T-100s, right?
Huh.
So that ties the Terminator thing into it. Now, the rest of everything Schwarzenegger's ever done, think about it like this. The Terminator, granted, yeah, it was this killing machine, but its primary function was as an infiltrator, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to blend in with people to gain their trust and then get into the deep, dark crevices of the fucking resistance, then, blow them up or whatever. Yeah. However, a machine doesn't know how to fucking talk to people. It doesn't work right. So every other Schwarzenegger movie is a simulation program that the fucking Terminators have to go through before they get into infiltrating fucking the rebellion. And that explains why every fucking Schwarzenegger movie there ever is he's this total fucking Austrian fucking killing machine. But even though he's, Johnny from fucking Kansas, he talks with this like weird robotic fucking voice. And he doesn't really fit in anywhere because it's like, no, we have to take killing machine and put you into being homebody fucking American and making it fucking work. So all those things are just kind of like the programming boot camp.
Oh, interesting.
For Terminator before he goes out in the field.
Like including the one where his twin brother is Danny DeVito.
Yes. Yeah, because it's teaching him to act more human.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Kindergarten Cop for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tommy Allen said, except for Last Action Hero, which I would agree with because Last Action Hero stands on an island and is the greatest movie ever fucking made. And
I don't know, man. Like, you need to have a hero complex to kill some shit. And you need to be thinking that you're on the same side. So maybe he's invincible. Like, he doesn't die.
Oh, no. Like, not. I wouldn't fight you on it on whether or not that belongs in the Terminator fucking thing. I would fight you on it on that's the greatest movie ever fucking made.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. It's a pretty good movie. Oh, man. Greatest movie ever made. See, I'm a huge Blade Runner fan.
Dude, I am too, but like I have the fucking car from the fucking 90s.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
We had a weird skull thing. Our skull's almost in the same spot.
Almost, yeah.
Weird.
Except for mine's like some shitty fucking thing I got from fucking Michael's for like $2. So,
I made that one. It's vacuum formed, and I made it for my Skeletor costume.
Now, how does vacuum forming work?
Oh, it's really easy. So, well, not easy. So it's a big box. I made this big box and drilled a whole bunch of holes in it. Mm-hmm. Put my shop back on it. Made a frame. Actually, I have some of the parts. So I made a frame. Let's see if I can grab it. Okay. So you have this PVC plastic that goes inside this frame. It's kind of like silk-screening. You put this in the oven, and it sags really down, and then you put your object. So with that mask, I made a ceramic. What I did a plaster mold of my face. Okay. Then built the skeleton on top of that. Put it on the bed. It's kind of like a hockey table, but instead of pushing air up, it's sucking air into this big box. Then get this thing really saggy, and it's like drooping down to here. You put that over top of it as it sucks onto the thing, and there's a seal, and it sucks onto the form that you're making. Then you cut the plastic off, and then you have a form of that. So it's a positive, and you make another positive over top of it. Huh. And you cut the little bits out. Mm-hmm. So that's a homemade shop version of a vacuum form. So if you were to make this, so you put it on your bed. Yeah. Plastic would form over, but you'd have space in between, it'd go over top. You just get the one side. Yeah. So you would get the reverse side. Okay. So you only get one side of an object. So you have to build everything so it actually forms around your mold. So you can cut around it. So you only get one side. Okay. And you got to really think, like when I made the mask over here. Yeah. cut the eyes out, and it had holes in the nose, and it had holes throughout the whole object. So I drilled holes through the plaster, so the mold would go all the way around it and form and make all the detail. So I made the jaw and made the mouth different, so they would hook into each other, and then when I talked, it moved.
Nice.
Yeah. But just kind of tooling around, farting around with stuff in the shop. Like when I made the mask, this stuff, it's all like, if you look inside here, it's just the shop stuff you put on your floor.
Yeah. So
you don't hurt. And just cut it up and mold it together, and you have a Mandalorian mask. And then this is a welder's, like a welder mask. I made that for my son. Then I was a Boogaloo Boy Mandalorian, just wear a Hawaiian shirt with that on it, and it was costume done.
Nice. Dude, I know they can't do this for like, well, they couldn't straight up do this for copyright reasons. They could get pretty close if they wanted to. But I want them to like make a Mandalorian movie, but instead of like it being its own plot, they just remake A Fistful of Dollars and like put it on Tatooine.
That would be amazing. That would be so good. I think that's kind of what they kind of hit on. Was some of those episodes did feel like a little bit like that.
Yeah,
it's totally classic, and that's what I like about it. It's kind of like an old 1950s country movie that you would have on TV, but space.
Yeah,
which is great.
Dude, and like those old movies too, like if you just like casually watch them, yeah, they're kind of fucking boring. But if you pay attention, they're fucking great. Because I don't remember if it was A Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, but he like walks into town, and some fucking dudes like shoot their guns off, and it scares his fucking donkey off, and like he's like walking up the fucking bar where these dudes are at, and the fucking guy that's making the fucking coffins is like, yeah, blah, whatever. Hey, I'm gonna need you to make 3 coffins. And he comes up to these dudes and he's like, hey, listen, that joke you played, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I have a really good sense of humor. That was great. My donkey, on the other hand, did not think that was funny. So I need you to apologize to a donkey. And then fucking ends up shooting him. And then on the way out, he passes the gravedigger and goes, yeah, I'm sorry, 4.
Yeah. I think the spaghetti westerns are the best westerns ever made.
Yeah,
it's by a long. Even some of the shitty ones, like the ones that didn't have like famous actors. There's some really great. I think it's just low budget, good ideas.
Yeah, like there was one where this dude was in a saloon, like behind a table. People were shooting at him, and he didn't have a gun, so he was just like lighting sticks of dynamite and like throwing him at him.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
it would work. Because it worked a little too well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can like break the dynamite down.
Yeah.
And like change the charge a little bit. Like we had a lot of our farm was blown out and flattened out by dynamite. I guess you could just go to the grocery store or I guess the hardware store and buy dynamite and bring it back to your farm and blow out rocks.
Nice.
But we had some, and you could just break it in half and then put it where you need to put it and change the amount of charge he had. It was pretty interesting stuff. Sticks of dynamite.
Yeah. There's a tunnel not too far away from here. It was the first rail tunnel they built in America. They built it like the fucking 1830s or 40s. And then like after they like switched fucking railroad tracks, they fucking lost it for like about 100 years, and they found it again in the 50s or 60s, and like, hey, listen, we found it again, cool. So it's like now it's like a national park thing. But while they were talking about how they built it,
wait. They lost the tunnel?
Yeah, this whole fucking tunnel. It's like half a mile long, and they had teams working on both sides. And what they would do is they'd drill a hole in it, stick a piece of dynamite in it, walk back, blow it up, and continue. Yeah. And they were saying, no, if it was a good day, they would dig half an inch that day. And it's like, wait, hold on. If it was a good day, they'd blow out half an inch. All right, man, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking back then, though, like that's when like fucking work was fucking work.
Real hard work, yeah. None of the sitting behind a desk bullshit that we do now.
Yeah. I'm gonna bitch about how hard work is after staring at a screen all day.
I don't know. It does suck.
I know it sucks, but I mean, it's not like, hey, listen, fucking, I fucked this up. I blew up fucking Jim. I got to pay for his fucking kids for the rest of their fucking lives now. And my new name is Lucky because I kept one of my eyes and one of my hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. From growing up on a farm, sometimes I wish I was doing farming as opposed to doing design stuff.
Yeah.
At least you could see what you worked on and, you know, you got something out of it.
Yeah, same thing with construction. Like when you're done, it's like, yeah, I did that.
I built a fucking house. Yeah. There it is. You drive by it later. There's my fucking house I built.
Yeah. So yeah. So speaking of being lucky, there's this sailor, right? And he's about to, he used to be a sailor. Now he's a pirate. Still technically a sailor, but he's about to go on his first fucking voyage, and he's a little bit fucking nervous because he's never been out to sea before, or at least with the pirates. And to calm his nerves, he goes down to the fucking tavern, and he gets his grog, and he's sitting there and he's drinking, and he looks over, and there's this like crusty old fuck, right? He's got like a peg leg, a hook, patch eye. He's like, man, that guy knows what he's doing. I gotta talk to him. So he takes a couple more drinks of his grog, goes over, and he goes, hey, excuse me, sir. And he goes, oh yeah, what do you want? He's like, if you don't mind me asking, what happened to your leg? He's like, oh yeah, no, so we were fighting the Spanish off the Straits of Gibraltar, and we had them good and hooked, and a cannonball came through the hull and blew my leg off, and the ship's carpenter made me this fine peg leg. So the young pirate's like, okay, all right. Don't mind me asking, sir, what happened to your hand? And he goes, oh yeah, that. We were fighting the British off the coast of France. We boarded their ship. I had a sword in each hand. I was fighting two of them, and a third one came up and lopped off my hand, and the ship's metalsmith made me this fine hook.
Yeah.
And the young pirate's like, oh, all right, cool, sweet. What happened to your eye? And the old pirate, he kind of looks embarrassed, looks down, and he goes, oh yeah, that seagull shat my eye. And the pirate's like, okay, I didn't think it would be that bad. And he goes, yeah, it was the day after I got my hook.
That's hilarious. Well, that would happen. That's great, man. Man, I don't have good stories like that. That's pretty hilarious. I can tell you about the fruit stand has amazing stories. Let's see. The best one, I think, this is real. This has actually happened. So this is like the first year we're there. So if you know where the Red Sky Orchards is in Washington State, it's literally in the middle of the state. It's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's next to a huge highway. Thousands of people going by, right? But it's very rural. And I told you about that weird, creepy place where the Christian camp where the kid died, right? So in the morning, we would get these old guys come in, and they talk about crazy, long-winded stories, stuff like this. He's like, oh, that's a great story. I'll see you later. See you later, Bill. Bill and Ted or whatever their names are. And they go off, come back the next morning, get the free coffee. Well, one morning they were talking about some like murderer guy that escaped. We were kind of close to a rest station, a really popular one, like big ones called Indian John Hill. It's a rest stop. You get the free coffee, and the people take a piss and leave, right? But apparently they were telling us about this story about a few cop cars were carrying a prisoner from the middle of the state going to the courthouse for a murder trial in Seattle, or it was actually Olympia. But they stopped at Indian John Hill, and the convict strangled one of the cops and escaped and ran out in the woods. And this is like fall. It's about this time of year. There's snow on the ground. It's fucking cold out there. All the carnivores are out eating as much as they can before they can, they hibernate.
Right.
And so apparently this guy escaped and killed this guy, and he like killed his wife and a couple other people, and really dangerous dude. And they're like, he's out here somewhere. Oh, that's weird. Okay, all right, see you guys later. And this is like 7 in the morning, and then like it comes around about 7 at night, and this is when me and my dad were working there all day long, right? And we're closing up, and I had a shovel. I mean, we're an outdoor fruit stand type thing, and I was digging a hole for something. And I walk around. There's no cars in our driveway, and this is back when we were just trying to save our farm, and we counted every car that came in. No cars we didn't have a bathroom at the time. We had a little hand sanitation system where take a shit in like a little porta potty, and they have like you pump the water. And there's a guy out there at our hand sanitation system with his shirt off, which is weird because it's cold as shit. And his pants, his jeans were inside out and like stained. It looked like motor oil was all over his pants. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I put my shovel away and walk over and ask him what's going on. He's like, oh man. And he's really jittery. And he's a big guy. I'm like 6 foot, 270-pound guy. I'm pretty big and stocky. And this guy was bigger than me and scarier, right? And he goes, oh, my dog ran away and I was chasing him, and I'm a really bad hiker. I'm from the city, blah, 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 blah. Really weird story. And I look at him as he's washing his shirt out and his blood coming out of his shirt. His fingernails were his fingers were all red raw, like down to like really beat up. Like, what the fuck? What happened to your fingers? Like, oh, I was climbing up hills. And I ruined my fingers got all chewed up. Jesus Christ, man! Like, that's really fucked up. I'm walking back, and I went and grabbed my shovel back, and like looking at this guy washing his shirt. He's like, Dad, that crazy murderer guy's here. He's covered in blood. My dad's like, he just wanted to go home, and it pissed him off that even someone was there. And so he went around the other side of the tent. And the guy, of course, comes back on the other side, and he got his shirt washed off, and it's like an open up, like button up shirt, and it's open. And he's like, grabs an apple. Says, okay, if I eat this, like, yeah, go ahead, man. And he eats the whole thing, core and all, the whole apple. Like, oh fuck, this big, huge guy, And he walks up and he's talking to me. He wants to pay, and he has some change. It's okay, man. Like, just take the out. I don't care if you grab a couple more. It's not a big deal.
You're wearing a soaking wet shirt. It's fucking -15. Like, just take the shit.
It is. I'm gonna say it was a good 30 degrees to 40 degrees. It was cold, but not like. If you're wearing a wet shirt, you're gonna freeze at night. Yeah. So there's animals outside, and so he goes off, and my dad comes back in around the other side, and he asks him what he's doing and why was he covered in blood and stuff, and why is his finger so fucked up? And he tells my dad a different story that I told him. So remember, he told me he was chasing his dog. Well, he told my dad that his girlfriend stole his car, and he had to hike over to where we're at. Like, it's a completely different story. Yeah. And as my dad and him were starting to get mad at each other, because my dad's like, well, that's not what you told me. He's asking where the cops are, like where the police station's at. Well, it's like miles away. Like, it's that direction, but it's like really far away. Like, we're going to call the cops and see if we can't help you find your wife that stole your car. He's like, fucking call the cops, is what he said.
Yeah.
And he's looking at, I'm sitting next to the cash register, which the cash register was like a symbol of us saving our farm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hugging it. And he looks at me and looks at my dad, and looks at me, looks at the cash register, looks at my dad, then does like that a couple times. And we had a little tiny, like, baseball bat underneath the thing, and it clinks against the side. And he looks at me when it clinked against the side of our like little desk. I just shake my head no, and he runs the fuck out of there. It's like, what the fuck? And my dad calls the cops, and we had like 3 or 4 cop cars, a helicopter flying over, totally looking for this guy. They never told us what happened to the guy, but
have you tried Googling it? Because like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that like
no. So yeah, we did try to looking it up, and there's nothing in the news. There was some mention of the guy being gone, like he escaped from Indian John Hill, and he was staying and hiding at that freaking same camp that I was telling you about, in one of those old cabins. Because if you go down there, it's really cool. If you're ever up here and you're into like a creepy campsite, this place still has like the flower plant rocking chairs and all the cabins, all the beds. Yeah. The gymnasium is like pristine and still there, and there's like inside of the men's bathroom is really interesting because it has all the pristine like porcelain, the urinals and stuff, except for the tree growing through the middle of the building. It's like weird stuff. Pretty cool.
I want to come there and write a book about a fucking serial killer who fucking totally maybe or maybe did not fucking kill these fruit stand people.
There you go.
And after he killed this fucking kid, he cut his face off and sewed it onto his own and became an illustrator and
yep
adopted his identity.
Yep, and his beard is graying through the other side. Look, pretty normal life,
But he's doing all right now, fucking, hasn't repaid his debt to society, but he's hasn't fucked it up anymore. So I mean,
hate the government, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
on that fucking, we're about at our fucking time limit, and we had a fucking good fucking combo. So,
Absolutely.
thank you for fucking being here. This is great.
Thank you for asking me to be on, man. I really appreciate it.
No, we're gonna have to do this again sometime. And then
Yeah,
tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at derricwise.com or Derric Wise just on Instagram, DERRIC. You'll find me. I'm an illustrator. And then deadeyedesign.com is where you can find me.
Deadeyedesign.com.
That's right.
Let's check that out.
Or deadeyedesign. Deadeye.design, excuse me. That's a weird. I couldn't get the .com. That's a company in Europe.
Fuck it.
I know.
You think of it like a .uk or a .de or
it's deadeye.design.
Oh.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. It's been an honor, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, dude. Fucking thanks for being on, man. Fucking, I'll catch you around.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.